started on experiment 31, isolation of caffeine from tea leaves. So carefully open 2 commercial tea bags, try not to tear the paper, and determine the mass of the content to the near 0.001 grams. Record this mass, place the tea bags back into the bags, close and secure the bags with a staple. So I already went ahead and done that, and here is, okay, I'll just read it out. So it's 2.258 grams per tea bag, 2.258 grams. The second tea bag had 2.37 grams. So 2.237 grams. All right. And I already went ahead and reclosed the bags with the staple. Into a 150 ml beaker, place the tea bags so that they lay flat. Here's my 100 ml beaker. I'm going to place the tea bags inside the beaker. Just like that. Add 30 ml of distilled water. I'm going to measure out 30 ml with a graduated cylinder. So add this to the beaker. And then 2 grams of anhydrous sodium carbonate. I've already went ahead and done that. So I weighed it out. Now I'm going to put that in there. Heat the content on the hot plate, keeping it at a gentle boil for 20 minutes. So I went ahead and already started to heat up the hot plate. While the mixture is boiling, keep a watch glass on the beaker. Hold the tea bags under water while occasionally pushing them down with a glass rod. Alright, just like that. And we're going to wait 20 minutes. Once it starts boiling, I'll start counting, and then we're going to proceed to the next step.
Alright, so decant the hot liquid into a 550 ml Erlenmeyer flask. Wash the tea bags with 10 ml of hot water, carefully pressing them with a glass rod. Add this wash water to the tea bag extra. If any solids are present, cool the combined tea to the room temperature. The tea bags must be discarded. So instead of like going through all of that step by step, I am going to go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it by gravity filtration, so that way it can like do the whole thing, like basically drain the water. I can rinse it with the hot water and I just get the liquid and let it cool. And then, like you said, I'm gonna use this hot water, 10 ml hot water in this beaker. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in here. And then go ahead and At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and use this stirring rod and try and press down the tea so I could get out as much liquid as I can. Alright. So if you can see that it has some more liquid that I'm pressing out. So you can see that, and I'm gonna go ahead and press it all out. So if there's any solid added to this, it's gonna be gone right then. So alright, so I think I got everything, and now we can go ahead and throw away the tea bags.
Okay, so now that the solution has been gravity filtrated, I'm going to transfer the solution into the separatory funnel. I'm going to make sure that, first of all, it's closed at the bottom. Then I'm going to put filter paper in the waste. I'm just going to use the same funnel. And I'm going to pour this in our filter glass, separatory funnel. Just like that. Carefully add 5 mils of dichloromethane to the separatory funnel. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 5 mils with a graduated pipette of dichloromethane. So I've got exactly 5 mils. I'm going to transfer that into my separatory funnel. Put a stopper at the top. Stopper the funnel and lift it from the ring clamp. Hold the funnel with 2 hands. By holding the stopper in place with one hand, inverting the funnel, make certain that the stopper is held tightly with no liquid is spilled. Make sure that the liquid is not in contact with the stopcock the open stopcock, being sure to point the openings away from you and your neighbors. Build-up pressure caused by the gases accumulated inside will release. Now close the stopcock and gently mix the contents by inverting the funnel 2-3 times. Again, release any pressure opening the stopcock. So I'm just going to go, make sure to hold this tight. So I'm just going to invert and back and invert and back. And then I'm going to let the air out. And I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to do it every second time because there's quite a bit of gas that's forming. And I don't want it to fly. Okay, now I'm going to set it back on the ironing ring stand. And I'm just going to wait until there's 2 layers that form. Return the separatory funnel to the ring stand, remove the stopper, and allow aqueous layer to separate. So I'm going to remove this. From the dichloromethane layer, you should see 2 distinct layers form after a few minutes with dichloromethane layer at the bottom. Sometimes an emulsion may form at the juncture of the 2 layers. The emulsion can often be broken by gently swirling the contents or by gently stirring the emulsion with a glass rod. So there is a little bit. Let's just kind of stir that a bit. We'll just take our rod as we had before. Just kind of do that. Are hard to grab anything with. They have no grip. There we go. Okay, carefully drain the lower layer into a 25 ml Erlenmeyer flask. Try not to include any water with the dichloromethane layer. Careful manipulation of the stopcock will prevent this. So now we are ready to get started with filtering this through. I'm just going to go and break this emulsion layer just a little bit again. Just like that. Then I'm going to place this Erlenmeyer flask just under here. And I'm going to remove the bottom layer. So when you do this, you want to make sure you do it really, really slowly. That way there you don't get any of the product that you don't want. So you can finish up by going actually drop-wise instead. There we go. Maybe one more drop. And that's it. Okay, so here is all the clear solution. Repeat the extraction with an additional 5 mils of dichloromethane. So we're going to do this over again. So I'm going to remove that. Then I'm going to pipette out 5 mils again with the graduated pipette. Place that in my funnel. I'm not a big fan of this pipette. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and mix it again. So, make sure to put the stopper on the top. I'm just gonna go like this and then release the pressure. I'm gonna kind of start off slowly because I don't want it to go crazy on me. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put that back on the ring stand. We're going to let that form. If you guys want to watch it, or try to watch it, take this off. So there's a bit of emulsion. We're just going to break it up with the stir rod again. Just kind of go like this, gently. Give it a few seconds. Time just to get a nice clear layer. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and filter it again. Slowly. Just like that. And again, we've got a nice clear layer. 0.5 grams of anhydrous sodium sulfate to the combined dichloromethane extract. So I'm going to grab my sodium sulfate and I'm going to go measure out 5 grams, 0.5 grams, sorry. So I got 0.507, that's 0.507, and let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in the flask, try to get everything in there. Flask of anhydrous salts is drying the agent and will remove any water that may still be present. Determine the mass of a 25 ml sidearm filter flask containing 1 or 2 boiling stones. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. Here's my filter flask. So I went ahead and measured out the filter flask. It's 180.162 grams. That's 180.162. Filter the dichloromethane salt mixture into the flask. Rinse the salt on the filter paper. Okay, so it doesn't say which type of filtration it wants us to use. So we are going to go with go ahead and use a Hirsch Funnel. So here it is. This part comes off. This is just like a regular funnel. And then there's a filter paper inside. There's like little holes. So I put the filter paper inside. Put the funnel in there. And normally what you could do to make it a little bit better when you filter it is add water to the filter paper. So hydrate the filter paper with water. But in this case, since we need the water to be out of the substance or the solution, we can't add any water. So now we're going to go ahead and filter this out. So rinse the salt on the filter paper with an additional 2 mils of dichloromethane. So for that, we're just going to do this dropwise. I'm just going to use a little plastic graduated pipette. It has the 2 mil marking on it, so. I'm just going to wash the top of the salt with that. Just like that. Remove the dichloromethane by evaporation in the fume hood. So we're going to want to heat this up. Be careful not to overheat the solvent, it may foam over. So we're going to put this onto our hot plate, which is already on. The solid residue that remains after the solvent is gone is the crude caffeine. Determine the mass of the cold flask. Calculate the mass of the crude caffeine by subtraction and determine the percent yield. So I already gave you guys the mass of the flask and the boiling stones. So then once this is done and all the dichloromethane has evaporated, we're going to take the mass again and you'll be able to calculate the percent yield for the experiment. All set. So we're getting to pretty much all of it dissolved. Yep. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the weight. Well, first I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the hot plate. I have to let it cool down until it reaches room temperature before I can put it on the scale so we can get an accurate reading. So just going to wait till that cools down. Okay, so once the filter flask was cool enough to measure the mass for it, I went ahead and measured it, and it's 180.964 grams. And then I went ahead and added some caffeine into the melting point tube so that I can measure the melting point with the this machine here. Alright, so the melting point is 229.5. So 229.5 degrees Celsius. Let me write that for you guys. And that should give you all the data you need to finish the pre-lab, post-lab, and report sheet for this experiment.